That's crap.
Baloney.
Bullshit.
Hogwash.
Baloney. Bullshit.
Baloney.
Bullshit.
Rubbish.
Bullshit.
Crappy.
Mega crap. Bullshit.
Everything that guy just says, bullshit. Thank you.
All right, everybody, welcome to the 30-Minute Bullshit Podcast. I'm Jason.
Oh, and I'm Shay.
And Shay has nothing to say, but he is Shay. We have with us our other co-host, Sophia, and then our special guest is also Reggie. We do have a peanut gallery. Excuse me. We have a peanut gallery. It's Reggie's Lady Sierra. So just in case you hear some laughing at our stupidity in the background, that would be her. Would you like to say hello, Sophia?
Yeah, say what's up, everybody.
All right, Reggie.
What's up? How you guys doing?
All right. Reggie's back by popular demand. We really didn't want him here, but because everybody seemed to like when he was on, we thought we'd have him back. All right, Reggie, what you got for us today?
Man, I don't know. Oh, are we picking topics again?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
shit.
all
I wasn't even ready. Oh, it's always me, but I'm okay. You know what? I'm not even gonna get into it. Triggers. That's the first topic. What triggers you? What pisses you off? What gets on your nerves? What's something that, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody does at work. Something just bugs the shit out of you.
I love this mischievous face, Shay, that you're making right now.
And you just can't do anything about it.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
I got a good one, but it's not for me. It's for someone I know.
I'm ready.
All right, who's going to go first with this topic?
Man. Shay, I think the floor should be yours on this one, given that look.
He's ready. Look at him.
Look at him. He's all excited.
He's got big ass grid.
My sister has some of the funniest triggers.
Elaborate.
It's really funny. Like, so she'll make like a point to bring a metal straw everywhere because she saw what plastic straws do to the turtles.
Oh, the turtles, yes.
That report from the report from the 11-year-old.
It's funny because she'll drink out of a styrofoam cup given to her at Sonic or whatever, but she will use that little metal straw. And she was talking about a date she went on with this girl at Starbucks, and she's like, "Oh, I went to Starbucks with this girl, and we're in line, and she ordered a straw. It's just not going to work out. She got a straw with her Starbucks." And I was like, "Are you?
Oh my God.
Are you fucking serious?"
She knows that report was done by an 11-year-old kid, right?
Yeah, that's where that all came from, actually, legitimately. It was just a kid that wrote a school report saying that it was the Toidles, and then everybody actually bought it, and then it just kind of spiraled out of control from there.
Well, actually,
I've seen the pictures, but the fact that like California, like you have to ask for a straw,
right?
Like at one point they weren't going to sell you one, so like we'll do things like we'll buy my sister like a 500 pack of plastic straws and give it to her.
Damn.
That's awesome. Does she also drive a Prius as well?
Yep.
Oh no, she doesn't drive. So.
Oh, she doesn't.
She doesn't even have a
license.
license.
Does she ride her bike?
No, she just kind of walks everywhere or calls my mom.
Oh, okay. Well, because they say that actually during the manufacturing process for Priuses, I don't know what the proper term would be, but they actually cause more of a carbon footprint and more emissions just to manufacture the damn vehicle.
The rare metals in the battery.
Exactly. And then the entire lifespan of the car itself, that would be emitting its carbon
Little
footprint.
tangent about Priuses. So
Prii?
I used to work with a lot of like trust fund kids, and one of the guys, I was giving him a ride home.
Good job.
And I was talking about I was like, oh yeah, my PT Cruiser's falling apart. Its windshield wipers won't stop or whatever.
Possessed.
But hey, what am I gonna do? And he's like, Priuses are very affordable. And I was like, not for me. They're not.
No, those are not affordable cars by any
hilarious.
means.
I mean, you can get a used Prius for something.
I want to know Shay's trigger though.
Yeah, what are your triggers?
We'll come back on that. I'll think about it.
Or any others that your sister has other than the Toidle straws?
That's the big one. I mean, she gets pretty triggered whenever my dad says something. Or
like
really anything.
Like he could just breathe.
Because my sister's a little like social justice warrior, and then like my dad is like hardcore conservative Christian man. So like they butt heads a lot.
Interesting.
It's fun.
I'm gonna tell you something about them turtles though. They showed the whole video with the straw stuck in the turtles little nostril or nose or whatever it was, its little snap. I don't know what you call it. I don't know the proper term for a turtle's nose. But anyway.
Holes in the face.
Breathing tubes.
Your breathing tubes.
This straw was all the way in there, and I think that's the video that went viral, and everybody just started going ham on the straws. Like, that's what fed the whole straw vibe. That's what did the whole thing. Like, this straw was up there. Like, man, I'm telling you, like, it took them like 15 minutes to get the straw to this turtle's nose. Like, and he was not happy about it being up in there either, and he wasn't happy about it coming out either. So
sounds like every other cocaine addict in the world.
It looked like a painful moment for the turtle, but I just wanted to just dial back one time real quick on that one. But go ahead to the next. Go ahead.
All right, Sophia. What are your triggers? Because if you don't name them, I will.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna lie. This is a really simple one, and I feel really guilty.
Don't feel guilty about it?
Actually, one because it makes me seem like kind of a dick, and it's totally superficial. But I have a really big thing. This is probably also because I'm a musician for voices, for people's voices. And if you have an annoying voice that I cannot listen to, like, you may be the sweetest, nicest person in the world. You could even be inventing the cure for fucking cancer, and I will not be able to speak to you. I can't. And I know that it's so superficial and judgmental, but I'm like, I literally cannot. If someone's like too high pitched or and they talk like really affected, like I can't I can't take you seriously. You could even be talking about like biomolecular science, and I'd be like, I can't even listen to you right now.
I hate if it's kind of like lispy, but like super lispy, like intentional, like very sibilancy. You know what I mean?
Well, no, give us an example. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When people like it, and the lisp isn't necessarily the problem. It's more like just like really like.
It's like an over pronunciation.
It's
so pretentious to do that kind of stuff, I swear.
I got one with voices. This is a good one, and we will all relate to it. And all I have to say is, no one!
We joke about that all the time. It's so funny.
I can't stand when someone talks with an extra A in all their words. That drives me fucking batty.
We were actually talking about this too the other day too, about the whole Valley Girl thing and how like younger generations, like the millennials, like don't even understand what a Valley Girl is, because now it's just kind of become the norm with like particularly West Coast females, that like now it's not a stereotype because it's become a norm. Everybody, like all the girls like talk like this, and that like totally like gag me with a spoon is like a thing of the past.
Is
They're
that
like,
really a thing anymore?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a thing of the past. Oh, okay. Like nobody even recognizes that that's a reference anymore.
Damn.
What triggers you, Jason?
Well, there would be a lot of things that trigger me. I will do one that is of topic of right now. So the coronavirus does not trigger me at all. And the fact is, with the stuff that I have to take for my medications, I'm in the fun area of it could actually kill me.
He is at risk.
I am at risk, and I don't care because you know what? I wash my fucking hands, and I use hand sanitizer, and I cover my mouth, and I already did that shit. But you motherfuckers who are in your 20s, 30s, and 40s freaking the fuck out about a virus that is basically for you a cold, shut the fuck up. That triggers me so bad when I see that shit.
Doesn't it mostly like affect like the elderly? Like
it's always, and that's true of any flu, right? Of influenza in general, outbreaks and things like that. Not even to a pandemic aspect of this coronavirus. It's the elderly, the really, really young, and the people who have suppressed immune systems, i.e. Jason, because he has autoimmune disorders. So those are the three people that are really at risk. Everyone else is going to be totally fine.
Yeah, no, they'll just get a cold and they'll get over it and it will be fine. And
Babies,
it's not a big deal.
Old people, and then people who have suppressed immune systems. That's it.
Yeah, or if
so
you
can, what's triggering you is that people are freaking out about this? Is
mass hysteria?
The mass hysteria for people who will not be affected pisses me off.
Well, it's media too.
Particularly for you, because you have the reason to be
So I don't know. I was just saying, no, like it's media too. Be like, they spin this shit up, and all these motherfucking sheep just line up and just be like, oh yeah, they're telling the truth. That's right. They don't check anything.
It doesn't help that like the media that's all they're talking about.
Exactly.
Like I didn't listen to the news before, but now that I'm living with my girlfriend's grandma. That is literally the only thing that is on the news 24/7.
Thank you.
I get it, but you have to be an idiot just to fucking follow it. Like I don't buy that people are so stupid. And her grandma's probably older, so I could see her being a little bit worried.
I mean, she just watches the news. She's not worried.
All right.
I mean, they joke about it.
Right,
okay,
for sure.
Good for her. Good for her. And is she healthy and in good health even though she's older?
Yeah.
So then there you
she's
go.
She's a very nice lady.
Yeah, then there you go.
And he can't talk bad about her anyway because we're on a podcast that she may hear at some point and he'd get kicked out of his home.
Yeah,
no, she doesn't understand how podcasts work.
Okay, so you're safe.
I talked to her about it and she was like she was very confused about like how podcasts work, how YouTube works.
That's
she thinks
awesome.
that Netflix is she thinks that Netflix is like TV and that it's playing things constantly and that you click it on it like it's like a channel.
Oh, like the menu is like a TV guide where you have to like wait for it to roll through to see the times on everything on
She's
Netflix.
very confused about how all that.
That's about right.
You know what else that triggers me?
Right. That's about right.
I got another trigger.
Oh shit.
She's adorable though.
So
it's
funny.
I'm gonna stay out of politics because there's a lot of things that trigger me in politics.
Oh man.
But
Ooh.
oh man,
deep.
should I go there? I could go there, Shay. I
Politics
see that
and
big.
religion, man.
Spit that
Those
You
shit
want me
out,
to go
man.
there?
Hell
All right.
yeah, man.
So
Before you go there though, let's hear what Reggie.
Oh yeah, because
Yes.
it's gonna take over. We already know this podcast
Yes.
is over once I start. Go ahead, Reggie. What triggers you?
Oh man. Well, like you, I got a couple of triggers.
Oh, I thought he was saying like you trigger me. But
Oh no. I'm cool with Jason. He's good. But man, I have a few triggers, but my one trigger that I deal with occasionally, which is I don't know, smacking when people eat. The way
dude, yeah.
Woo, when they oh my god. Shit just be all up.
I've been guilty of that.
So
I've gotten better.
my sister. So apparently, that's actually
Terrible.
a legitimate like disorder to be really hypersensitive to sounds. My sister
hella
is so terrible about that. Like you cannot even eat a bag, like open up a bag of chips around her.
Have it crunching.
Otherwise, she'll then look at you and give you the death stare, and it's just like, I can't handle the noise. I just can't do it. Like, can you please? Do
My
that somewhere
ex-girlfriend was
else?
like that.
Really?
I couldn't eat anything around
Yeah,
her,
it's
really.
it's a
Like,
neuroses.
I'd be very careful.
It's a neuroses for sure. Yeah.
I get in trouble for chewing gum loud around Sophia.
I
for
do,
sure.
but you know what? I'm pretty good about a lot of
Oh,
things
I had
with
a
you,
boss
but
that was like that.
I don't like the gum thing. It really bothers me when it's a. Yeah, I'm not down with
My
that.
previous employer, he would do that. And like, so you have to wear headsets when you work in AV to like communicate to each other.
Sure.
And he'd be chewing gum while latched on the headset. And I could hear him like smacking his gum on the
Oh
headset.
my god!
all
I
up
feel
in
like
your
this
ear
might
and shit.
happen on the podcast someday.
Yeah,
I don't-
Jason,
I
the
don't-
gum smacker.
I don't
would be
know
like,
how it would happen.
This
but
is my trademark.
It might happen.
And then Shay, you and I can just be like, "Oh my god!"
It's actually a really bad form to chew gum while you're speaking through a microphone.
Yes, it is.
That's okay. I'm not
Like,
chewing
because you can get the microphone all gross.
Yeah, we like to practice proper mic etiquette here on the 30 Minutes of BS podcast.
bullshit podcast.
If-
But
I practice proper mic etiquette.
I do
Whatever.
too. Thank you, Shay.
are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for the politics? Because I got one.
Okay, what is another one? Of your
Do you got anything else you want to say about that before we get to the politics, Reggie?
I don't know, man. I got,
What's another trigger?
I got cut off kind of early.
Yeah,
what?
no. What's
no,
another trigger?
I don't feel like sharing now. I'm just gonna.
Thank you, Jason, for pulling the political card.
I was
Reggie,
checking.
You have the floor, man.
I don't know, man. I was still on the smacking thing. The shit. I think it's a paradox though, because when you're eating something also and it's really good, you get into a little smacking zone yourself sometimes. Like,
Smacking zone.
Hey, but I do it when there's nobody around. Like when I'm by myself and I'm like, oh, nobody knows I smack too. But like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just respectful. Okay, sometimes if I smack, okay, I don't know. Okay,
Great masked smacker.
Sierra's looking at me like right now, like I be smacking in public. If I do, let me know. I'll fix it. I will fix it. I will work on that. Okay, because I really respect people's ears. You know what I'm saying? So it's important.
Yes.
All right, politics.
All right. So here is like my
shit.
number one political like thing that gets me fired up is I never ever like to be called an ally. It pisses me off. It makes me angry that there's segregation going on within any community. And I think that's segregating. My belief is that no person understands how another person is living. No one's been in their shoes. And that to call somebody an ally who's willing to bleed and die for them is fucking ridiculous. I'm either your brother or I'm not on your side, and that's it for me. So I will, when it comes to any of that stuff, when it comes to racism, when it comes to women's rights, when it comes to LGBTQRS rights, like, it doesn't matter to me. I'll fucking stand up for anybody who's getting bashed on those fronts, because I think it's fucking bullshit and that people need to be respected. But if you're going to turn around and go, you're an ally, you don't understand. You're right. I don't. Either does the person next to you, because they haven't lived in your shoes. What we need to do is respect each other. But if you want to trigger the fuck out of me, you start calling me a fucking ally instead of your friend, your brother, the person who will stand next to you.
An ally was supposed to be very, very positive. Like, it's supposed to be like inclusive to people.
It is inclusive, but I see your point, Jason, where there's a difference between being an ally and then being like, I am your brother. Like, I am your equal. Like, we are all in this together. Like, I think there's a certain level of care and altruism associated with brother that's not necessarily associated with ally.
Ally to me says that you don't get it. Like, and what I mean is you don't understand our point of view. And the fact is, I don't understand anybody's point of view. I only know
I've never heard anyone use it in that, like, negative.
Oh, I have.
Way.
We know a mutual person that does that. We're not going to name that person. I worked
at places where, like, I had to be very careful what I talked about. Like, even wearing camouflage could, like, get people upset. And, they always use the term ally as, like a very positive thing. Like, we're including you. You're part of this. Without you, we can't do it, because, like, you can't expect people to be able to, like, defend their small groups on their own without help. Is what an ally is supposed to be.
Right, but I just don't think that it's a necessary term. It's a segregating term. I think all of it's a segregating term. I think our government, I won't even say our government, people in power with money, whatever it is, like that we're segregated, because when we're segregated...
I would argue that, like, you know, our differences are what make us, like, stronger, right? Like, and that, like, dividing groups is, like, a good thing for, like, community.
I think no, it's not.
To a certain extent.
So I agree, Shay. I agree that being different is okay, and it's okay to recognize that, but I think the people in power absolutely like us going, hey, I'm different, and you're different, so we're not alike, so therefore we can't get together, and therefore we can't stop power.
It's a form of control, absolutely. And I think that there's a huge difference between diversifying and then segregating.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a happy medium in everything, right? But
right, I agree, and I think it's okay to appreciate our differences. I'm okay with that. It's when people are moving and going, I know you want to help me, and I get the whole white privilege, like, you think you understand and all that bullshit. I understand that too. But at the same time, like, the only way this all works is if we accept each other, and we accept each other as brothers and sisters, because you know what? You're not killing your brother, and you're not killing your sister, and you're not avoiding your sister from being able to do something, or your brother from doing something.
Or am I?
You might be.
You might
I've
be.
met your family. I understand. Like, I met a couple of them, so I get why you might do that. But I'm saying for looking at other people, if you treat them like that, if you treat them like family, if you respect their differences and support their differences, then you're not an ally. You're their brother, or you're their sister, and you're in there with them in the trenches, making sure that shit happens, that they're protected, that their rights are protected, and they're treated equal as human beings.
I think that actually having
I'll have to agree to disagree with you, because, like, I really think that ally is a good word.
I think
Especially,
that having
like,
actually
with the rise of Nazis coming back and all that. Well, I mean, they've always been here, right? But like, with all that coming back and all that, like, the ally is a good word.
I think that actually having a female's perspective on this, and also Reggie's perspective, you know, being an African-American male, actually, I think that we both can offer some good insight on that. Like, for me personally, I know that, like, I am never going to ever be able to understand what it's like to be a man, nor do I think that any man is ever going to be able to understand me as a woman. And particularly with all of the feminist movement that's happening right now, like, I don't segregate myself from men. I actually look at it exactly the way that you were saying, Jason, that I'm just like, we're all made of the same shit. We're all human beings. I don't agree that segregating us or pointing out the fact that you just will never understand is going to help rectify any situation. And I think
that doesn't help. But like, calling someone an ally isn't going, you're not the same as me.
But I've looked at boards and I've talked to people, and that's exactly what a lot of them say. You can't be my brother because you don't get what I'm going through. And that's my problem. Is if they didn't do that, I would say allies fine, but they do that. And I'll tell you what, so you're a woman.
I mean, there's assholes in every group.
Right. But those are the ones who talk the loudest. And the fact is, Sophia, you're a woman, Reggie, you're black, and I'm a Jew, and the only white man sitting in this room
It's the one who's agreeing to disagree.
It's the one who's agreeing to disagree. And while that's okay, I don't have a problem with it, actually.
I feel like you can consider Jewish people white, but...
You would think, but if you follow where they're from, it's the Middle East, correct?
Right. They get lumped in oftentimes.
With white people, I do know this.
Yes.
And Sophia brought up the woman thing. Another triggering thing for me, for sure, is like women will say, and I agree, I'm scared of men because men will kill me. Well, guess what, Shay? If you recall, Reggie, if you recall too, when you go out and you're around a bunch of dudes, you fear men because they might kill you.
Absolutely.
Like the same. It's not
the same way.
Well, Reggie's going to chime in real quick. I don't fear anything but God, but I am extra aware and ready to go if a motherfucker want to go.
Right.
I want to ask Reggie a question real quick from his perspective, like within like segregation and things like that from what we're dealing with today. Like, do you happen to have any occurrences daily that are triggers for you? You're an African American.
Look, I got so many. This is a deep subject. This is a subject all on its own.
Yeah.
And we just kind of broke off into it. But this has a lot of angles to it, and I don't know. Okay, let me get to this. So I am African, black, whatever you want to call it, American, all three of those things. I don't even know how to quantify it into one. That's a problem itself right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
identity crisis.
America has an identity crisis. Shouldn't we all be Americans?
We should all be Americans, 100%.
Exactly. That's one thing, right?
Yeah. But we're all the immigrants.
We all immigrants. We're all different. We all have different cultures. We're not together. This has always been an issue. And now, I will say this. We were doing really good. At least we were getting along. You know what I'm saying? At least we all cared about each other, despite our differences, and we were trying to learn about each other. But ever since this last 3-4 years, I don't want to say it's Trump, but that's kind of what it is. I don't want to say. Now, it's not Trump. It's not Trump directly. Well, it's just who he is.
The big problem with that is they've always been there. It's just now they have the balls to come out because
exactly.
they've got a guy
exactly. Which honestly, like, I don't always chastise for that because at least now I know where you assholes are. That you have a platform to stand on, and now I know who to stay away from.
I actually appreciate the dirt being swept out from the corners because you do know who it is, and I agree with you, Reggie, 100%.
Yeah,
I think that like when it all comes down to this is that we're all forgetting how the other person's perspective stands, and that's kind of where I'm getting at. So when I talk about men are scared that men will kill them, and Shay, you're right. We have the other expectation. What if you're not a fighter? You're not that person who wants to fight. So while you may feel like that person has those tools, they may not. So it's expected that a dude's going to go face a dude even when he absolutely 100% doesn't want to or can't defend himself. So my only point is that everybody's forgetting these perspectives. And by the way, ladies, mansplaining happens to men because men like to pass on to other men as well what is going on or how they believe something should be done.
Oh, for sure. I've witnessed it. I've seen it happen.
It's not specific.
Mansplaining also is like another thing that like it's kind of like the whole toxic masculinity thing where like it was supposed to be describing something like, telling boys that boys will be boys, or like, stop crying,
or
showing a bitch,
kid,
man up, and then it's become
up,
this other new meaning,
right.
Well, and I think mansplaining kind of comes from a similar place.
I have a ton of experience, particularly in that, because I have to deal with male contractors for my day job all the time. and that I have a lot, and then I come in as, the designer, typically the stereotypical chick position, right? Well, granted, I actually know quite a bit involving the construction process, so I am not talking out of my ass. I can actually carry on an intelligent conversation with them. But I have, like, not all of them. I have some great contractors that I work with, but there are some that, like, particularly the older males, that are like, well, let me just tell you, like, you may not know anything about this, and they totally do it. And I just kind of smile and chuckle, and I'm just like, like, okay, dude, you're cute. That's cute. You think that I don't know what I'm talking about, you know? But I'm empowering myself to not deal with that.
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry.
I just like smile. I got like, there was a dude coming in today setting up like the internet stuff, and like he's just acting like I'm like I don't know anything. But I think that's like part of his job. And I was like, I probably know more about this stuff than you, but you know, I can't go into I'm not allowed to go into that box and like switch around cables. Like, that's the only reason you're here.
Well, I don't even know what mansplaining is, but it was just interesting you guys explaining that. So that's pretty cool. All right.
But I think just my point with it is that, like, we all just need to be accepting of each other and show some respect all the way around.
Yeah.
And it's a give. It's a give a little, get a little.
But
and
hey,
absolutely.
Sure. Let's not downplay everything you just talked about, bro.
Balance.
Look, man. It's a lot of shit going on. The real good thing that's happened from all this mess that's going on is the dirt. Like you said, the dirt has been swept from underneath the rug, and we can all see it now.
Honestly,
and we can see that
it's going to be another 4 years of dirt coming out from under there, because with Biden being the runner up against DT, it's not looking good, mates.
Yeah, I see that as well. I think that Biden. I don't think Biden can beat Trump, and I honestly,
I can't wait for these political debates. They're going to be.
He's going to get wrecked.
Yeah, he will be.
Yeah, well, not when he's going to get wrecked, but he's going to get wrecked by like stupidity, you know? Like,
right.
And
it's gonna be like TMZ.
Yeah. Oh no, it's the Real Housewives of whatever, but it's really the real politicians of DC.
Real Housewives.
Yeah, the Real Housewives of DC.
The Real Housewives of Washington DC.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that kind of goes back to my point of the segregation is nobody thinks they have the power to fucking stop this shit. We're all sitting here with our thumbs up our ass thinking that, like, it's just going to happen. What's going to happen? You're right, Shay. Trump's going to get it. Trump's going to get it because we're all going to accept it. Or the fact that Bernie Sanders actually won the last time to run for president, but some of the crazy shit the DNC did to stop him is fucking ridiculous just because he wasn't Hillary. And that's our fucking problem. Like, Bernie Sanders, and he has to stand by it, stands up on a stage. This fucking got my goat, for sure. He stands up on a stage and they ask him, hey, so what happens if you don't get enough delegates to be able to maintain to become president? And and then we have to go and look at our conference. And he said, well, they go across to all of them and they all say, well, we'll let it work out, which means they let the superdelegates go, right? Mm-hmm. And the superdelegates don't have to go by popular vote. Bernie Sanders says, do popular vote. Well, you want to win a presidency? You don't use superdelegates. You go by popular vote.
See, I'm not going to talk too much politics. I'm not going to lie. I don't know too much about it. I'm still learning about politics.
This is the bullshit podcast. You can say whatever you want.
Now,
Fox News does.
Hey, man, for sure. But I will say this, and I've always said this. Look, what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. And what's good for all the people, or the majority of people, is good.
The problem with that is that a lot of people treat that as subjective.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you think that the neo-Nazi guy that believes that the Aryan race is pure to this day
you're
thinks
right about that.
He's trying to.
And if it's a majority of them, okay, you know what? I'll take that back. You just made me read.
Here, I'll make it really easy for you.
Yeah,
I actually heard someone make this comment the other day. So he said, let's say, and I'm not going to do it exactly. I'm gonna do something. So if everybody says 1 plus 2 is 4, and there's only one guy left in the world who says it's 3, that one guy is still right.
That's true.
Yeah.
But the argument against that is if society says 1 plus 2 is 4, guess what? It's fucking 4 because that's what you're living in.
Right. Well, and then who's to say that, you
Okay.
know,
You
like
guys got good
we're not
points.
the ones that are
we
wrong.
have
got
the
good
electoral
points. That makes
college,
sense.
right?
Right.
I retract my
Fuck.
statement.
So that
The
these dummies want something, so we're just gonna decide
Hey,
for
I thought
them,
I was right.
and then they can vote for us
why I don't
later.
talk
Oh my
politics.
God.
Or vote us
I ain't
So
trying.
true,
This isn't.
Shay.
This isn't about being right and wrong, Reggie.
Yeah.
This is about just talking about. This is about bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
there's so the stuff I'm seeing and stuff I'm reading. I can't tell you where I got it. I can tell you I just look at it and I see it and I listen.
You
to
don't
what's
like
going
it.
Well, and
on.
who's to
It's
say
like
that
just-
we're right?
just
You
not-
know
yeah,
what I
I'm
mean?
not-
You
I'm
could
not right.
totally
You
be
just
full of
putting
shit
your
right
opinion
now.
out there and how you feel.
Yeah.
And everybody deserves to do that.
I
too,
just believe
for
in
sure.
happiness and that we're all human beings and that we all should love and we should all just be happy
Man,
on
tell
this
me about it.
short amount of time that we have on this fucking planet together
Preach.
and make the best out of it. And that's really ultimately it.
Yeah.
All the other political and dynamic things, I get it. Like this all comes down to what separates us from the animals of having ego, sense of self, right? That's why we
Tell
lead
me
to
about it.
greed and that's why we lead to all these other things. But ultimately, if we can like scale back to a little bit more of our just kind of primal instincts, like we are pack animals and we want that sense of community. Like we don't need.
Are you talking about anarchy, Sophie?
Well, maybe
Go
it's
deep.
like
See?
a combination.
She's
of,
not.
like,
That's not fair.
Anarchy, socialism,
Oh, man.
communism. I don't know. Maybe I'll get all Jim Jones and shit on your asses. And
No
be
Kool-Aid,
like,
please.
Socialism is the way to go, brothers and sisters. Let me tell you.
It's funny when you said that. Shit's hilarious.
But
That's not my God. Is that your God? That's not my God.
Oh, okay.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
I just think it's important for everybody to hear each other's perspective, but also realize we all bleed fucking red. We
Right.
we all need to eat. We all want respect. We're all scared. Nobody's going to respect us. Listen, I'm putting my opinions out here on this podcast. You don't think I have a small piece of me going, fuck, somebody's going to hear it and twist it and not
Totally.
realize
Sure.
that I totally love people and that I would do anything for them
Yeah.
and
Totally.
that they'll misread what's being said because it happens all the time. But I'm not going to be scared to put it out there. And if somebody wants to come back and
There
they
are definitely things on this podcast I've said that I'm worried about people hearing.
Right, or like for example,
Sure.
you say one thing that like you're in disagreement with the Republican Party or in agreement with the Republican Party. I misspoke. Then it's, oh my God, you're a Trump supporter, and it's like, dude, no, that's not necessarily what it means. Like, are we so like there's such a dichotomy within us that's been bred so deeply into us, particularly now because of the states of the political parties, that it's like I am not allowed to pick and choose what I believe on both sides, what I agree with. Otherwise, it's confusing because who the fuck are you? What do you identify with? We need to figure you out.
because they need to put you in that group so they can separate the group.
In a box, yeah.
Right,
Yeah, I
so they
get
can
it.
separate the group so the group doesn't have enough power to do anything.
I get it. And I'm saying that's bullshit.
I would say that like in the 80s, right, everybody was like there was like that big super religious right wing swing that like
The Reagan
was
years
kind
and
of
shit?
scary.
No, that was the
And,
Bush.
like-
Oh, the Bush years. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
No, I'm talking more like Reagan.
Well, Reagan and
Right?
Bush, they
and
were
then
both.
the televangelists,
Right.
and then there was like this whole like in the past, right, you couldn't say certain curse words and you had to be very careful about like what you said, what you did in private. I think the pendulum has just swung to the complete opposite end of the spectrum where you have to like be more worried about the opposite. So like you can say fuck, but you can't say another F word. You know what I mean? Like, I think
What F word is that,
things have
Shay?
just kinda swung.
Let's hear that. Let's hear that word, Shay. I'd like you to speak that word.
God.
What's that word?
I know.
Are you talking about a group of sticks tied by a string called a fag? All right. As long as it is a group of sticks
Okay.
tied with a string.
So like, I think like a
call
new
cigarettes
set of
fags,
curse words
too.
have come in. So like, we were talking about at one point that like, you can't use the hard R word on the show.
What's the hard R word?
I might have done that.
So hold on. I actually, this, just because we're talking about triggers and everything like that, let's go
Never
back.
mind.
Can we turn
Sure,
this
sure.
aside from political stuff, because
Let's
I
not
think
do
we've
that.
exhausted
Yeah,
that
we
topic.
exhausted
Yeah.
It's about
Yeah, I'm done
language
talking about
and
politics.
about words. So certain words are super triggerous, if that's a word. That
Triggering.
They trigger people in such a deep way. Like what would be a word?
Like the word Moist.
Get the fuck over that already.
But that's in a good
the moist
way. That's in a good
chocolate.
way.
But then I'm like, what about moisture?
Oh.
Like, then this is filled with moisture.
Moisturized.
But you're still using the word moist phonetically, so I don't get it. Anyway, my point is that do any of you actually have words that might be a trigger for you?
There's only one word that triggers me.
Which is?
So I'm gonna say it.
We're gonna say it, and then
I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it with
Are you gonna say the N word?
No,
I'm
it's
good.
a trigger. We're talking about triggers.
This word triggers me if somebody says the word nigger.
Okay.
Like that. And I'm not saying like my nigga. I'm talking about nigger. That fucking
With the
word,
R on it?
With that fucking triggers
gosh, you
me.
better
I don't
watch
care.
this.
I don't care what fucking color you are.
Oh damn!
That
I'm gonna have to
word-
watch your back now,
That
boy. Watch
word
all these
fucking
black
triggers
dudes
me.
out
That
here
makes
trying to
me
hurt you right now.
so
I'm
angry.
gonna have to step up for your ass right now.
No. We're talking about the point
We're
that
talking
it's a
that
trigger.
that's a trigger
We're
word
not
that pisses you off.
glamorizing
But
these
it
words
isn't. No, it's
at
definitely
all.
it's definitely a trigger word, man. Especially for everybody that's
Absolutely.
that's black or African American, whatever you identify with, or you're fucking brown, whatever.
Dude, I had an artist send me some music because I have always musicians sending me music, right? And so I had somebody sending me this song, and they're like, "Hey, I want you to sing this hook on this hip hop rap song." And I'm like, "Sure, okay, I'll give it a listen. I can sing hooks for these songs in my sleep." Literally about the third or fourth word in the hook that I would be singing, as well as the chorus, as well as the verses, the third word was nigga. And it was all about pussy this and bitch that, and I'm so horny, and like fuck me right, nigga. And I'm like,
It rubbed you the wrong way.
I literally looked at, I'm listening to this, and I like have my jaw dropped, and I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm like,
See-
I will never associate myself as an artist with this,
But see, this-
ever.
But
But
you'll
see-
say it on a podcast.
But my point is I'm chastising it. You see what I'm saying? I'm not glamorizing
Yeah,
it. Where
no,
I'm not in support.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Shut
But
up, Shay.
so my thing about that is, Sophia, is that when you come from that environment, it's a thing. It's kind of okay because we're the ones that's going
Sure.
through it, so we can pretty much use the word how we want to, especially when the word was used to degrade us and things, and then we turned it into something else.
Sure.
These my niggas right
It's
here,
now
and it's like
empowering,
and
right? Yeah.
it's not necessarily empowering. I hate when I hear people say that, but it's something Look, we're going to find strength no matter what. Nothing's going to kill us. It's like the Jews when they went to the Holocaust and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You survived that shit. Like, and now it's like, fuck it. Okay, it's our word now. Hey.
Yeah, but you don't. So
Yeah.
so you
But-
using that example makes me turn around and go, I don't use kike. What's up, my kike? Like, it's not going to happen.
And then you're asking some little white girl like me to
That's not as
come
bad,
on
though.
and sing your hook.
Like, I don't go around calling my friends cracker,
No. But my point is that somebody just asked me to go and record this music by saying these
Oh, man,
words
we're
in their
getting too
song. You
deep
know what
right
I'm
now.
saying?
I
Like,
wasn't ready for
you're
Yeah,
you're
of course.
asking me to do it, and then my thing is like I am an R&B artist. Like my parents were both Oakland funk musicians. Like I am entrenched in like these African American roots with music of what I resonate and what I perform with.
And
so
that's
like
cool.
that's the community that I work with musically. So for me, I am all about promoting like lack of prejudice, and my whole musical platform is to actually promote equality and showing that it doesn't matter about your race, your background, or anything like that. So then when this person brought this my way of saying the word nigga, I'm like, are you kidding me? You literally know nothing about me as an artist. I'm
I'm sorry. Can I chime in, Sophia? I'm sorry. I don't
No,
wanna-
absolutely.
Okay, so another thing is that it's totally fine to not be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? And not use that word and go a different direction. I got something else to say real quick.
No, I'm just going to say I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Like,
Yeah.
it's not my business to tell you what words you can
Yeah.
use.
Sure.
You could be there's plenty of conscious artists out there. We call them conscious artists, whatever. But there's plenty of people that don't use the N word in their songs, or at least not that much. They use it. It has, it's a place where they use it, and it means something when they do use it. They don't just be saying it all over and over and over again in a song. Like a lot of songs is out nowadays. So another point of mine is the reason that they're doing this nigga is because they're getting told to do that by these producers and shit because it's selling.
Oh yeah,
and it's this like
Sure.
it's deep. The game is deep.
I get
So
it. I get it.
yes.
I will have to say
Yeah.
this track that was sent to me though was not big time from some producer.
Okay, on the, and, on the,
like,
and on the other half of that, you
this
got a
is
lot of
what you
people that's
gotta
just
do to
ignorant and they don't know.
And
So,
I'm like,
well, no, I can't say ignorant. That ain't the right word either.
Or you look up, okay, for our audience folks too, Tay Giannis is a excellent neo soul rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that he writes is about positive message. Everything that he performs and writes is about positive message and spreading love and unity and respect and all of that. And it isn't even primarily about race. It's just about everybody loving each
people.
other.
Yeah,
it's
it's
people.
people.
And I totally respect that. And head on, please look him up. TEYYANIS.
Okay.
Tay Giannis.
Looking at her plugging.
I'm totally plugging Tay.
I would plug Tay too. I love Tay.
Check him out. And also,
a good
we
man.
happen to be on a song together that's been released in 10 radio stations overseas. But
that's dope.
reach him out. Like, go check him out anyway.
Okay. One more thing, guys. One more thing. Damn, I'm just not on this topic today. This is a whole topic.
See,
by
these
itself.
are your topics you pick.
You know they're going to get
You
derailed.
know me.
We
Like,
broke off into some stuff. Okay, but let me tell you something. So, you know.
He just pointed the finger at me. I might have done something.
No,
wrong.
no.
Shut up. Let him speak.
Okay, so the word niggas is really deep. It's a lot of stuff behind it. It's a lot of slavery. It's a lot of people lost it. Like a lot of lives lost, a lot of families broken up. Like most Africans, like they came here with a language. Like we're the only people in America that don't know our native language. We speak American, but all these other people, they say they're American, but they still know, they speak whatever languages they came
That's a
here
good
with.
point.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If I don't even know if Jewish. Do you speak? You have a language?
Hebrew.
It would be Hebrew.
Or
So, Yiddish.
Sorry, or Yiddish.
Yiddish.
But we didn't like. If you don't get taught, you have to get taught it. But I get it that you guys got taken away, right?
I don't know.
Families
I
got
don't even
split
know
up.
what
Like dads from mothers, brothers, and sisters, they got killed in front of each other. They got hung. They got raped. They raped men to demasculate us and shit.
It was terrible.
So,
And then now they're okay. So
and this
then
shit was going on for 400 years, and everybody downplays it. And I'm like, come on, man, that's a lot of trauma. It's a lot of trauma in that. So how do you come out of there completely sane? It's amazing we're still even fucking here. Still fucking going, being
and
strong. You know what I'm
African-Americans
saying?
are still dealing with
So,
that today. All
it's
of
a lot
sudden.
of trauma. That shit, genetic trauma is real.
Yeah.
That shit.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay, and then so another thing I want to say real quick. I'm gonna get off of
you're
that.
fine.
Get off
Keep
the
going.
slavery because forget the slavery thing. Everybody wants to download slavery. Africans was kings and queens back in the day. Now they had slaves too, giving you, but it was different. It was like indentured. What's that word called?
Indentured servants.
Indentured servants and stuff. They wasn't
Of
getting
the same
they
community
wasn't.
and race.
You know what I'm saying? They wasn't getting raped. They wasn't getting slaughtered. They wasn't just. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't getting like. Man, come on. It's really a little bit of difference.
Slavery, that kind of
But
thing.
slavery is bad, period. It's happened across the
rape
world.
And
yes.
all of that with the slaves has been happening since like beginning of recorded
But has
history.
but why do they downgrade the Africans over here in America or the black people over here in America? Why we get downgraded when they talk about Jews and the Holocaust? You fucking get respected. You don't get downgraded.
Oh, that's not true.
No, that's not
Is that not true?
Right. Yeah.
It is.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
no,
it's
that's
not true.
totally-
especially the
Same with
alt-right is
Hispanics,
really
too.
trying
They
to.
deal with that
Hispanics
as
too.
well.
Hey,
Dude, I
Native
can't-
Americans, they got slaughtered.
Oh yeah, Native Americans.
Most of them.
I would say out of all of
That
us,
stuff gets downplayed
Yeah.
too.
that gets done. So out of
For real.
all the different races,
Yeah.
I would say that and I would love to say
okay, and racist, that's not even a thing. It's ethnicities or whatever.
Right, so
we're only one race. We're human beings. We're a human
Or
race.
Got it.
classes.
Human,
Okay.
You're absolutely
All right.
100% correct.
Okay.
It is the human race.
See,
so
it's a lot of
we'll
shit
go-
here. That's what I'm
No,
trying to tell
it's
you.
okay. So you want to talk ethnicities,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
So we could go back. The written history says Jews have gotten it the worst over time, but I actually believe natives got it worse. Because
Oh,
if you
yeah, we
look, if
didn't
you
even
look
touch
how
that topic,
how natives were just wrecked, wrecked when
Yeah.
Europe decided to come visit their fucking lands.
Yeah.
Like I don't think a ethnicity has been wiped out and wrecked so hard beyond natives. And I know this comes all from the word, and I get you, Reggie, with saying like I understand. Like I agree with you. It's not my business to say what another person is going to say that's of that ethnicity.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, and I don't step up to. But if they ask my opinion, I'll tell them.
Hey, man.
That I disagree with it because I don't like the fact that word's being used, and that word was used to drag out guys by their fucking necks and fucking execute them.
I stopped saying it as much as I used to say it because coming up, I didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure,
I still say it around, people I know, when you're in that environment.
You say it around me.
But
I don't hold it. I don't hold you on you.
Man.
But I also
different.
don't, like,
But
I'll run into.
It's an energy behind it when I say it.
So my generation, and Reggie's a little bit a part of my generation, there are words that are used or were used, and I no longer use them. I did catch myself using one of them, which was the R word, which was retard, because I don't relate it to people who have mental handicap. And the little word, which I don't use at all anymore, about sticks and string, I used to use fag constantly and not relate it to gay people. It wasn't like that for me. It was just another word, and I think that's something people forget too, is that the person on the other side using the word doesn't necessarily know
they're
it's hard.
ignorant and uneducated.
And that's
the language changes.
Right, the language
so
changes.
That's like, I come from a very religious family, and one of the interpretations, because you're really not supposed to like curse, right? And the idea though is supposed to be like less so about like words themselves, more so about not saying things to offend your brothers and sisters, right? So be conscious of who you're talking about. So like I can say fuckity fuck shit in front of my friends, but I'm not going to say that in front of my grandma.
Sure, know your audience, right?
And I'm not going to like, it was really big in Xbox Live culture to be like, oh man, you're gay, right?
Right.
But I'm not going to say that to my sister.
I have only one quick little last anecdote, just because we're all artists, and I'm going to just discuss an artistic experience that I had. So I had a gig actually, and like I said, I'm in the R&B scene, I'm in the funk scene, I'm in primarily an African American dominated genre of music, which is great. So both of my parents are funk musicians, and so I had an experience where I had a gig at a club, and I was pretty much the only white person that went on stage. And I don't ever have a problem with that. There were a bunch of artists that I shared the stage with, and I felt a huge level of uncomfortability on the flip side of that.
That's a thing.
Where I'm like, I don't care that you're black. Like, I respect you as an artist. We're playing the same show. We're here to entertain. But I definitely felt that on the opposite side. So afterwards, I remember I saw my dad maybe a week afterwards, and I was like, hey, Dad. Mind you, my dad's like the whitest guy ever. He is half English, half Irish, blonde hair, blue eyes. You would never guess that I'm his daughter. Anyway. And he was always like super skinny too. Like he's just like the skinny drummer guy, right? And he was playing in a funk band with all black musicians. They were playing some big time club somewhere. And I asked him, I go, have you ever experienced any sort of racism on the other end because you were a white guy playing in a black band with these black clubs? And he goes, no, man. He's like, they all ate me up and thought it was so cute that I was this white guy that knew how to play funky drums. He goes, but my buddy, who is the bass player, whose name was Juan, who was Hispanic, they were like, he's not allowed to play here. The white guy's cool, but not the Hispanic guy. And so the band was like, well, that's bullshit. And they picked up and they didn't play the gig. They were like, you know what? Like, we're not going to stand for that. He's one of us, and you got to deal.
You got anything to say more on this, Reggie? Because I think it's a great topic, actually.
Nah, I mean, not today, not tonight. This is for another night. I can't.
Yeah, we could do.
I'm exhausted
4
on this
parts of
topic.
this. Yeah.
It's, hey man, at the end of the day, it's all love.
I just like get really upset that people like say that they're triggered at all. Like, I mean, it was supposed to be more for like things that actually trigger your like, like actual problems,
more like
right?
more like
irrational
things, not actually really deep seated.
Yeah,
topics.
like actually like triggering actual anxiety or like whatever.
Right.
And like it became this like thing that like Tumblr girls were starting to say a lot, like, oh, I'm so triggered. And then it became like kind of just like a throw around word. So
that's a thing.
I don't even really like when people say like, I got triggered or that triggers me. So.
Oh, well, I only say that because I didn't even know that was even a trendy thing.
I don't
or
say
push my buttons.
Yeah.
I say that. really pushed a button in me or hit below the belt. You know what I'm saying?
That grinds my
gears. I don't ever say that I'm triggered, and I will admit that anytime that I am triggered, it's me. It's not you're not triggering me. It's me letting you trigger me. It's me.
Exactly.
Me digesting it and going, this is how I'm being. In fact,
we do it to ourselves.
I will give a little bit of personal note. Sophia and I may have had not just the greatest day the other day, and we might have been arguing, and I actually called up Reggie, and Reggie's like, dude, take a breath. Like, just, it's okay. And that's how you're going to act, because that is correct. Everything is okay. Yeah. Because she wasn't triggering me, I was triggering me. I was listening to I was feeling however I was feeling, and it was my own self-trigger.
You got in your head about it.
Right. Well, thank you, Reggie,
we all
for helping him out.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, I've done it a lot. I've messed up too. You're not the only one.
Well, I don't think, I'm not pointing fingers at who I feel was right or wrong.
No, it's not about that.
That means he thinks he's right.
That does not. I'm just saying, I'm not pointing that finger. I'm just saying that my response was my chosen response.
Yeah.
Sophia does not force me to be angry.
No,
Sophia
nor would
does not
I ever
force me
want
to be hurt,
you to be hurt
like
or angry.
I guess it's not just you. Anybody does not force that. It is my choice to respond the way I do, and sometimes you just got to take a breath.
Yeah.
It's
all of our choice. That's the only power we have, and if we give that power over to something or someone or something, that's basically what our triggers are. We're letting that thing have power over us.
Exactly.
And we're losing our shit for a moment.
Amen.
So
Preach,
it's good to have a voice on the outside say, "Hey, man, you're good." It's just don't let this thing tear up your whole mind. Just fall back into yourself. It's going to be all right, man.
Absolutely. And I appreciated the advice.
Yeah.
But on this topic all the way across, I think that it's important to say, listen, like, there's nobody here that doesn't love everybody. There's nobody here that differing opinions, although our opinions don't differ that much. I don't care that somebody has a differing opinion. I actually want to hear a differing opinion.
I'm not a guy my knowledge.
I'm not a guy who's going to block you on Facebook because you're a Trump supporter. I don't give a shit.
No.
Like I had just a real quick story was I had a friend who is a Trump supporter, and he told me everybody yells at him for it. And I was like, you know what? Well, why? And we just started talking, and he's like, man, no one's ever just talked to me about it. And you know what? He actually turned some of his beliefs around of what he saw, and I turned some of the beliefs around what I saw. So my whole point with all the triggering stuff and the comments I have for politics is that I just want everybody to listen to each other and respect each other, and I don't want segregation in any way, because when you have segregation, you can be different, but when you have segregation, when you draw that line, you're separating somebody out, and when you separate somebody out, it allows somebody to go, I don't understand, I don't like you.
But the problem is that we have to figure out whether or not that's something that is society made, or if that's something that's inherently instinctual in us, and I don't know what the answer is, really. I think that hate brings people together. So if they have a common thing to hate, then ultimately that's going to bring them together, and that's not correct.
That's used as a management style to throw out somebody, put one person up to hate. Absolutely. I know it is, because I in my training of my life, in the management I've done, have done it. In
general, yes. All right. Well, how we would close this one out, guys?
Any plugs? What you got? You got anything to talk about?
I'm done.
We've wrecked. We have wrecked. We have absolutely wrecked Reggie.
Communication runs the nation. That's all I got to say.
Hey, is that your new campaign slogan for 2020?
Communication runs the nation. You know what I'm saying? 2020, vote for Young Reg over here. You know what I'm saying?
Reg.
He ain't that young. That guy's got grays in that fucking beard.
You know, young wise.
I don't even notice him.
The oldest, youngest guy around. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
You don't even have a chance to talk, because Jason's actually the oldest person in this.
I accept that.
For sure.
I accept that.
Yeah.
You got anything, Sophia?
I do, but I actually don't fully want to discuss it yet. So let's get I might have a really exciting career move happening in my near foreseeable future, possibly. So I'm going to actually keep this one to myself until I know more definitive answers.
And then she may not
tuned.
be our co-host. Shay, go ahead. You got anything, Shay?
Congratulations.
He can't hear us.
I had something. And it was really good. And last week I had something and I forgot. And then I remembered.
Oh my God.
And then I forgot again. So.
Okay. You need to start remembering
just look us up on Himalaya. Yeah.
Himalaya.
We got one follower now on Himalaya.
Ooh,
that's probably Sophia's fault.
Thanks.
Thank you, one follower. Do
that
you know
one
who
follower,
that was? So that we can give a shout out? Do you have the name?
I don't know.
Okay, so if you are following us on Himalaya and you email us, we will talk about you on this podcast. Also, if you guys have a topic that you want us to talk about, email us.
I don't think it tells us.
Yeah, definitely. No, they actually do. It should tell you.
It does
people's
not tell
names.
us
If the person wants to give their name out, essentially. But yes, thank you. Our numbers are growing a little bit, which is really exciting and excellent to see. We thank you all so much for our support. Please download, even if you just download Himalaya and subscribe to our podcast. And then donations, of course, please go to funding Shay's possessed car fund.
I might have had something to plug.
Maybe I will be able to get that.
That would be fantastic.
Affordable.
The affordable Prius.
That guy is something, man. Like, I'll tell you, I love the guy. He's great. He's a fun guy. But he's convinced that robots are going to, like, take over all of the industries and that
But
we
they
should
are,
get,
though.
like,
Jesus,
funding.
not
All right,
great.
dude.
Not
That's
great
another topic.
else. That's a
Next
whole other
time.
podcast.
Yeah.
You are starting a new podcast.
We will talk about that. All right.
I was going to end it there.
Right.
Yeah, but you triggered me.
Yeah.
Right
We'll
on.
talk about my buddies, Willies. I could probably bring them on the show.
Well, that'd be great.
So,
we'll do that another time. Jason, what do you got to plug?
I don't have anything to plug. I just might have, and you didn't let me have my chance. So.
What do you mean?
I do have to plug. I have to plug the 30-Minute BS podcast. So if you want, like I said, you want to email us your thoughts, you want to tell us some topics to talk about, we're down. We'll do it. We'll always invite Reggie back to be a little bit funnier. He picked the topics, and he picked topics that were gonna cause us to get political.
Dark.
I wait to go political because I think it's fun, and I think it's all bullshit, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Exactly.
Don't take anybody's opinion serious on the show because it doesn't fucking matter because it's all bullshit.
But I think next time that we should do a little happier topic.
Hey, the bathroom topics was pretty happy.
Yes,
well,
it
we
was.
have it.
That was
Like,
great.
we don't even know if the order's coming down that. But anyway, I'd like to thank you all for listening. We will, again, send us your shit so we can talk about it. We'll bring more people on. I think we have a actor coming on next week. In fact, I know we do. Thank you. Just keep listening.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Though I may listen while you tell me all about how you saw Jesus and the angels coming out his mouth, I do wait out of love, a patient reverence of the thing inside you that just wants to be understood. But I can't understand how any grown human can think it more than just a product of the mind of man. It is the deepest well, and I have seen it swell my head with demons and a God I thought I knew so well. But I began to see that what was God was me. You fill a baby full of rules, that's all he's gonna be. Searching eternally in each epiphany. Desperation turns to manufacturing meaning till it's got in your thoughts in a dogmatic box, deliberately blocking the gospel, the most recent news of our evolution. The collective mind has found divine, and the night becomes a normal thing. And when the morning brings our piece of planet back around into the scattering of sunlight in the air, a blanket bluing where the stars delighted, I promise that they're all still there. Beyond our atmosphere, way out we've measured where we feared reproachment, just a vacuum and some burning spheres. And if we go to hell, they won't care, 'cause they're just there. I've heard it all before. We don't know what's in store. It takes your life to learn to live, and then you live no more. So it'd be tragic if instead of magic it's just blackness waiting beyond death's door. this ain't all we're here for. There's something more, a meaning to this mess of this, we're all so sure. Heaven's doors will open unto all of our rewards, timeless, painless in the bosom of the Lord. All will be forgiven, this reckless way of living, this pain we bring, this human thing, just pray it away, and we'll remind ourselves every day. At least once per week, and it won't get in the way. I got a lot of shit to do, you know I gotta get paid. Hit and miss with that decency, it's okay. There's another world after this one anyway. So for now we should just all be breathing and driving, yeah. Breathing and driving, yeah. Breathing and driving, yeah. We are living in an ever-growing age of reason, where science is the reason for the seasons. We used to make all of it up to service just one purpose. A land without a law can make a lot of people nervous, although still we find the evildoers all around. They say teach them God is great, and the guilt will keep them straight. 'Cause it's the praying and the rituals that will unite us. Like I can't love a man without the Bible in my hand. And so I cry out sham, take a goddamn stand, and I'll cry it again and again and again. And if the magic land doesn't let me in, I run that risk for reasons far outweighing all my sins. To train the brains to not forget that from the dawn of man, we made the questions and then made up ways to answer them, and been replacing gods with observations ever since. And I got a feeling that we'll figure out this puzzle yet, and learn to love like we were never told that we were broken. Maybe one day I will see you free of this burden. You know, you'll make the magic, yeah. It's a tragic distraction. You know, you'll make the magic, yeah. It's a tragic distraction. You know, you'll make the magic, yeah. It's a tragic distraction. You know, you'll make the magic.